Hello, and welcome to the Wine Educate podcast, where we explore WSET education, study tips, and practical advice for wine enthusiasts and professionals. I'm your host, Joanne Close, and this is episode 63. Okay, so yesterday I administered a level 3 exam to some online students. And sometimes my online students, they may not come to the tasting workshop, and I haven't had a lot of time to talk to them and prepare them for the exam. There's lots of things to consider. And here is a big one. So for the tasting portion, for the white wine, you could be given a sweet wine. Something that's sweet or luscious. It could be a Sauternes, it could be a Tokaji. In that category, a Trockenbeeren Auslese if I was feeling generous and could find one for under $500. Just kidding. Anyway, probably something like a Sauternes or a Tokaji. If you get a sweet wine as one of your wines, you won't know it, right? I'm not going to say, okay, one of these is sweet, so be careful in the order that you taste the wines. Because if you dive in and you taste that white wine that happens to be a sweet wine before the red wine, it's going to mess you up because there's so much sugar in that sweet wine that, as we know, when we have something that is really sweet, it makes the wine really dry and bitter, and it's going to suck all the fruit out of the red wine. So normally for these tastings, you would think, I'm going to start with the white wine, right? Start with the white, move on to the red because the red has tannin and all those sort of things. This is not the case if you get a sweet wine on your exam. You should be tasting the red wine first. I can sense your frustration. And you're like, well, Joanne, how do I know? How do I know it's a sweet wine? No one's going to tell me. Well, okay, so let's think about some of the clues. So the way we do it is I come up the stairs and I have decanted both of the wines. They are in carafes, right? And I tell you, do not judge the wine color by what it looks like in the carafe. Only judge it once it's in the glass. So then I pour the wines for you. If you look down at your white wine and it is gold, it is deep gold, this should give you pause. Think, okay, this wine could be sweet. And then if you stick your nose in it and it smells like honey and dried apricots and dried fruit and all these other things that could indicate it is a sweet wine. And then look at the legs. And if you swirl the wine around a little bit and those legs are really viscous, really drippy, meaning they probably have a high sugar content, okay, I think you might have identified that that is a sweet wine. And move on and taste the red wine first. After you finish the red wine, then you go and taste the sweet wine. And this is tricky because the instructor is obviously not allowed to tell you any of this. And sweet wines, well, they show up. They will show up on the exam. And I would really hate it if you dove in, got a mouthful of sugar, and then had to then taste the red wine and then couldn't pick out any of the fruit, then maybe said it was higher in acid than it was, and then maybe said the tannin was higher than it was. That would be a shame, a real shame. So that is your tasting tip for the day. Before you sit down and take that level 3 exam, be mindful. All right? Good. Hope that was helpful. And next week, we are starting off with our wine laws series. I'm really excited about this. It's going to be fun. So don't forget to subscribe so you'll make sure it'll pop up to the top of your podcast list and you won't miss out. All right, friend, have a lovely weekend.